Could it be? But me, your man, Louie T, welcome to the command post. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. I, of course, am your commander-in-chief, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. So today, I wanted to first talk about the comparison from Matt Miller, who is a draft analyst who was recently on J.P. Finley's show with B. Mitch. And he made the comparison of Colt McCoy, Sam Howell to Colt McCoy. That was his comp. And a lot of people push back about that. And look, I don't have a lot to say on this matter. You guys have said most of everything that I wanted to say, so I don't really need to belabor the point. I think it's a bad comp. I think that it's lazy because both of them are hovering around 6 feet, 6'1". Both came out of college at roughly 215 pounds, give or take a pound or two in either direction. I think Colt was like 215, 216 coming out of Texas. And I think Sam Howell was like 218 maybe. Whatever the case may be, 215, somewhere in that neighborhood. Again, they very comparable from a size standpoint. But even their build isn't the same, first and foremost. I think Sam is built to last. He's a thicker build, right? A little bit stockier. And that's just by nature. That's just how he's built. Obviously, Colt McCoy definitely not, built solidly. And we've seen the toll that that's taken on him throughout his career, not being able to stay healthy. With that said, I think the biggest complaint most of us had with that was the arm talent. Does Sam Howell have a Josh Allen or a Justin Herbert rocket? No. And not many guys in the league do, by the way. Joe Burrow doesn't have a cannon for an arm, but he gets the football everywhere that it needs to go. And I feel like Sam Howell's arm is very comparable to that of Joe Burrow and some of the guys that are probably at that next tier under the guys with the rocket arms, the Mahomeses of the world, and guys who can just fling it 70 yards effortlessly. That throw to Terry against Dallas is the throw that everybody likes to document and show over and over again. And it's a great throw, And we don't have many clips to go to with Sam, obviously, because he only played in one regular season game last year. But that's a great example of arm strength. And he dropped back and let it rip from the 25-yard line, and Terry catches that ball inside the 25-yard line, close to the 20, roughly around the 21, maybe the 22. You're talking about every bit of a 55-yard throw, and Sam made it look easy. So Colt could never dream of throwing the football that far effortlessly. Colt would have to put his entire body into that thing, and I don't know if it would get there. It'd probably be a duck. So I just thought it was lazy on the part of Matt Miller. He just compared size. Sam's arm isn't Josh Allen or Justin Herbert but it's definitely not Colt McCoy. He has a pop gun arm. We've all talked about the lack of zip on Colt McCoy passes. They're not even comparable. So I don't agree with that. Neither did you guys. And so I'd let you guys air him out. I didn't need to. You guys did a great job of making sure that wasn't allowed to slide. Okay. What I really wanted to come and talk about today is the schedule. So the NFL leaked their international schedule today. They also leaked the Black Friday game. I told you I didn't expect us to be a part of any of those festivities. When you don't have a star quarterback, you don't get invited to the party. And I'm perfectly fine with that. But in order to get marquee matchups, you have to have a star quarterback. That's just the way it goes. They have to market something, and generally the NFL likes to market its stars, and there are no bigger stars in the league than the quarterbacks. And so it's hard for me to market Chase Young, as a headliner. It's hard for me to market TJ Watt, even though these are really good players. People show up for quarterbacks. So we're not going to be in any of those big-time matchups. And we weren't. I was hoping that they didn't slide us into one of these international games because it could have easily happened, but it didn't. And I'm grateful for that. We haven't been across the pond since 2016 when we tied with the Cincinnati Bengals. So our time is coming again shortly. We can't continue to avoid this for long. They're going to get us at some point, but we dodged another bullet and avoided going across the pond for another year, and I'm happy about that. The Black Friday game is going to be the Eagles and the Giants, or excuse me, the Dolphins and the Jets, and the Eagles and Giants will be playing on Christmas Day. And I forgot who's playing on Christmas Eve. But nonetheless, we've steered clear of all of that. But what I want to do real quick, I don't like doing the entire schedule prediction thing. I leave that for other people. It's not my thing. What I do want to make predictions on is who will be our week 1 opponent, how many primetime games we'll get, where will those primetime games be, home or away, bye week, and then week 18, because you know that it's going to be an NFC East opponent. You just don't know who and where, home or away. So those are the things that I want to predict real quick. So week 1, I think we're going to play on the road at the Rams, 4:05 kick in week 1. On the road at the Los Angeles Rams, week number 1. So that is my week 1 prediction for us. I don't know the last time that we had a week 1 road 4 o'clock kick. It's probably been a long time since we've had to do that. So we're probably due for one of those. I don't know if the schedule makers even put that stuff into play as to whether a team has been, home or away. I think they just try to make the schedule fit, make sure that all of these teams, aren't conflicting with one another. I don't know if they even take into consideration that we've played at home all 3 years of the Rivera era and haven't played a road season opener since 2019. I don't even know if they take that into consideration or not. But we're due for a road season opener. And last 3 season openers, all of the Rivera except for 2020 against the Eagles, have been against AFC opponents. So I think we're due for an NFC opponent, and I think we're due for a road game. So I think this is the year that we get both NFC and on the road to start the season off. So I'm taking the Rams in week number 1. Week 4, I have us on Monday Night Football at the Giants. So what the league has identified within the division is that the games against the Giants are gold when it comes to Washington. If you go back 2 years ago, we had an epic 30-28 finish against the Giants on a Thursday night in week 2. That was a hell of a football game. That was the Taylor Heineke pick at the end of the game, got the ball back, took us down the field. Dustin Hopkins missed the field goal initially. Then we got the offsides on Dexter Lawrence, got to kick it again, and we won 30-28. It was a hell of a football game. Last year, obviously, that was in 2021. Last year, we had the Sunday night game, which pretty much determined who was going to make the playoffs. And unfortunately, we were on the short end of that game, but it was still a fantastic football game, start to finish. So they've identified that these two teams, and we played them to a tie last year. So what they've identified is these two teams play each other very well. They're very evenly matched. So we're going to put them on television because they make for good theater. So I think they're going to go back to the well for the 3rd straight year. And so in doing that, this time, though, they're going to put this game in New York because we've had, or in New Jersey, rather, because we've had the last 2 primetime matchups against the Giants at home. So I think this time they're going to give the Giants the benefit of the doubt. And so week 4, Monday Night Football, Washington travels to East Rutherford, New Jersey to take on the Giants. Week 7 is our bye week this year. The last 2 years we've had late season buys. In 2021, we had a week 9 or 10 bye. I remember The Broncos game was in week 8, so we were off that next week, week 9. We came off the bye in week 10 and played Tampa Bay. So we had a week 9 bye in 2021, and last year we had the latest bye that you could possibly have, which was week 13, or was it week 14? Let's see. We were 7-5 going into the Giants game, and we tied them 7-5-1. So that's 13. So we had a week 14 bye last year. That's the latest bye you can possibly have. So they're not going to do that to us again. I personally didn't mind the late bye. I thought it was going to help us. I thought it was going to give us a jolt of energy down the stretch, recharge the battery for a stretch run to try to make the postseason. It actually backfired. We did not play well post-bye. We lost the next 3 games, as a matter of fact, after the bye. So it didn't really help us at all. Lost to the Giants, lost to the 49ers, lost to the Browns. So I think the bye is going to be a little bit earlier this year, week 7. Week number 11, I've got us playing our standard Thursday night football. Everybody gets one. And remember, with Thursday night football, you're looking for a star, right? Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets is star power. That means the Jets are going to be on primetime at least 5, if not 6 times. The limit is 5, but if they slide them into a slot that's technically not primetime, then it doesn't count. So I think you could see Aaron Rodgers and the Jets on television 6 times this year. One of those 6 times, though, one of the 5 primetimers is going to be on Thursday night against the Washington Commanders. We'll be at the Jets in week number 11 on Thursday Night Football, taking on Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. So that'll be a week 11 contest. And then week 15, and I think I got this one wrong because looking back on it, now that I know the Eagles and the Giants play each other week 16 on Christmas Day, I don't know if the league will do this back-to-back weeks of having the Eagles be on primetime, but they did it last year, right? Eagles were on primetime television, I think either back-to-back weeks or 3 out of 4 weeks. There was a stretch where they were on against the Texans on a Thursday night. Then they got that long layoff, and then they played us on Monday night. So, and I don't know where that Green Bay game was, but that was a Sunday nighter as well. And I don't think it was too far away from either one of those 2 contests that I just mentioned. So it's not far-fetched to think that they could be on primetime 2 weeks in a row, but it's highly unlikely. But I'm going to stick with it. This is what I put down. I'm going to stick with it, but I think this is wrong. Week 15, Eagles on Sunday Night Football. We're at home. The last couple of times we've played Philadelphia on primetime, if you recall, we played the Eagles in that COVID game in 2021 in Philadelphia on a Monday. I want to say it was a Monday or it was a Tuesday, one or the other. That was in Philadelphia. That was on television, obviously, because of the COVID situation. And then we played them last year on Monday Night Football when they were undefeated, and we went into their place and gave them their first loss of the season. So they are going to put that game on again, except this time they have to come to us. Week 15, Sunday Night Football. It'll be a flexible game in case we're not good. So we'll see what happens there. But I got us playing the Eagles on Sunday Night Football, week 15 at home. So I think we're going to have 3 primetime games. That's what I'm essentially telling you. I think that's the right number. I think that's the sweet spot. That's the number we had last year, and we weren't very good last year. Or we weren't supposed to be very good last year. And so I think that's the number again. Now, Carson Wentz, I guess, offers you a little bit more star power than that of Sam Howell. So maybe that was the reasoning for the 3 primetimers last year. I like that number for Washington. It's still a massive market, and I still think that they move the needle, especially when you pair them with an NFC East opponent. So because of that, I think we get 3. And then you just throw in, if you don't love Washington by themselves, you just throw in a marquee quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, and it cleans them up. So I think Washington gets 3 primetimers. And then week 18, I think Washington is at home versus the Giants. So last year we were at home against Dallas. The year prior we were on the road at the Giants. This year, I think we get the Giants at home. I would not be shocked if Week 18 is against Philadelphia because we haven't had them as the final game of the season. I can't even tell you the last time. I think the last time we played the Eagles in Week 17, because it's 18 weeks now, but it was 17 then, was the 2019 season when the season was done. They shut us out like 17-0 or something like that, 22. They came in, took over the entire building. It was a shit show. It was raining. It was cold. Nobody cared. We were eliminated a long time. We were awful in 2019. I think that was the last time that we had the Eagles in week. Nope, I lied. 2020. Remember, we played them in Philadelphia 2020 to get the division at 7-9. So that would be the last time we played the Eagles in the final week of the season. And we did it back-to-back years, 19 and 20. So we could be due for the Eagles because 21 was the Giants and 22 was Dallas. I think they're going to go back to the Giants this year, but this time at home. That's my conclusion. So week 1 at the Rams, 4:05 kick, week 1. Week 4, Monday Night Football at the Giants. Week 7, we have our bye week. Week 11, Thursday Night Football at the Jets. Week 15, home for a Sunday night showdown with the Eagles. Week 18, home against the Giants. Let me know what you think. And if you've got those things lined up, all I'm looking for is what do you think is going to happen week 1? What do you think our primetime games, how many are we going to get? And where are they going to be? Who are they going to be against? And then bye week, and then week 18 opponent. If you want to leave that down in the comment section, I'd love to hear your thoughts. But that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. We don't have to wait much longer. We don't have to predict or try to, figure things out by looking at what other teams have released. We'll know the schedule tomorrow, and trust me, we will dive in deep into the schedule tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun. This is always one of my favorite exercises, is getting that schedule for the first time, laying eyes on it, and really dissecting it. So we'll have a chance to do that tomorrow night, live, 9:30 here on the Louie T Network. And we are going to get knee deep into that schedule. It's going to be fun. Bart Scott. Can't wait. In any event, that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on this installment of the Command Post. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you next time.
LouieTeeNetwork.